Hello, Tony. How are you, old boy?
Marilyn. Fine, thank you, my dear.
That's all right. I've got a drink. I won't want another one.
Hello, Tony.
You're all right.
Hello, Marilyn. How are we?
Very
It's nearly
well.
finished, so we'll want another one.
You'll have one. I have to go back to the bar a minute.
Just behave yourself.
So how's life treating you then, Mr. Collins?
Very good. Retirement is good. As
Well-
you're about to find out,
Yes, I must admit, people keep telling me I wouldn't have time to go to work.
you won't.
Don't know what to do with yourselves.
People will fill your time.
Really?
Yeah, they'll just be ringing up. You don't do anything.
No. I ain't going to do anything
you
for
don't,
anybody.
you don't find plenty to do.
No. I'm renting my place out, so I've still got plenty to do.
Yeah, make sure they're paying your rent.
Shh, don't say that.
That's a pension. Got to pay the rent.
Yeah.
Why are you retiring then? Apart from old age, obviously.
Oi. I've just had enough. That'll be nice not to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning on a cold, wet morning and just be able to do what you want to do.
Good.
I keep think last 18 months has, I think, brought it home to a lot of people. Don't you?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I haven't spent any money because there's no need to.
No one's
You've
doing
been nowhere.
Going nowhere.
So I thought, right, I'll enjoy myself instead.
Yeah, I think life's changed for everybody.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think people are now sort of realising that's better if you can take it financially,
Yeah.
go for it, because it's just better to have the
And
time
I'm not
than
being
be
funny, the
working all
place
the
is
time.
not the same anymore. All the good old faces are gone, and
It went downhill when I left in 2008, so that's one reason I left.
but they get away with things that if I tried it, I wouldn't get away with it. I'd be reprimanded. But the younger ones that haven't been there 5 minutes, they just do what they like.
I think that's the way of life
You know,
these
and you think
days.
to yourself, how come they aren't getting reprimanded?
Yeah.
So what year did you actually start then? Good question.
1975.
75.
Yeah.
You are the
So
old
in the
bit.
good old days
Yeah.
when Lawrence and Scott's actually made something.
Yeah, I started
Yeah.
78, November 78.
And I started September 74.
So he's too older than me.
Not,
That shows, doesn't
not
Not much.
necessarily.
Yes,
I know
necessarily, yes, yeah.
That isn't the same, is it?
That ain't the same, no. That's definitely not the same, but
The characters are gone.
no one's got any character anymore, sort of thing, not from a work point of view. Certainly, like you say, all the good characters are gone these days,
A
really
lot of
haven't.
experience
Yeah.
are gone.
Yeah.
You ain't got
A lot of the
that.
machines are gone.
A lot of the machines are still there. I mean, it's a working museum, but it's still got that good reputation if they let them do the way they should be doing it. But I mean, it ain't like when you were there.
Now, 2006 I left.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think when you left. That was 2006 you went.
Yeah.
Who
February
took over-
2006.
Who took over the financial role when you left now?
Well, I hadn't been in finance for quite a while. Anne was finance director when I left.
But you was managing director when you left, wasn't you?
So I was managing
Yeah.
director during that period when FKI sold to George.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How much was it for?
Lord, well, effectively nothing, I think, because for
No money change hands, you mean? Yeah.
no, I think effectively it was very much the same as Manchester United will say, with supporters will say about the Glazers, that the Glazer brothers bought Manchester United on the basis of the assets of Manchester United, and George did a similar thing.
Oh right.
Yeah.
So we did have some assets, but
Yeah.
they didn't last long.
No.
But having said that,
Well, we got a Christmas party, haven't we?
yeah, that's
And
the
a hog
first.
roast.
It's the first Christmas party I've ever been.
Definitely the first hog
Lawrence
roast
Scott's.
we had.
I missed that. I was in Ireland. I missed
Well-
that.
Oh yeah, that was good. That was
Well, that was
That
your
was,
fault. You're
I think they arranged that
world.
round me going
Yeah.
on holiday myself.
You did miss out there. The wine was flowing very freely.
Good job on teetotal, really then, isn't it?
When was that?
What I went
Teetotal.
teetotal when I have to buy.
Yeah, so things changed.
That's I don't know. I just think if we were allowed to work the place the way we want to work it, rather than how they think it should be worked, something might get done.
You know, in that case, a lot of places these days, the people who are actually in charge aren't actually, like you say, an engineer, they aren't actually engineers
I've never
anymore.
known the steam on the shop floor
money
to be as
men.
low as it is at the moment.
that's pretty rubbish down here, I guess. Well, the times I've been down here late because I'm doing some bits and pieces with through another company with them, and that does seem the morale is so low now. It's incredibly low. Not like it used to be. It used to be very buoyant one time. You could get anything done, but now people just not really worry too much about it.
They have to do it if I ask them to do it.
Well, yes.
Well, that's always has been the case, Marilyn.
Yeah, that's always been the case, yes.
It's always been the case that Marilyn's on the tannoy. If you didn't answer after the third call, you really got it in the neck.
I didn't actually use the tan, I just stood outside the doorway. That worked. So
Yeah, and in the old days, that used to upset the people across at Bolton and Paulton. That
yeah. But now you've got Janice Stone, that's a lot more refined.
Yes.
So when you started, Marilyn, where did you start in? Where?
I've always been in the. I like the sound of this because it sounds really good. Reprographics.
Oh,
So were you in the little house up Thorpe Road?
We did move up there.
Yeah, I can
where,
remember
where
the house
did you
at
actually
Thorpe
start
Road.
when you came down to Ron Scott's? Where was it you actually started?
Where they call it them new offices, them new penthouse apartments.
It was actually in the office block.
Yeah.
Ah. So then you went up to Kingsley House.
No, didn't
No?
go to Kingsley
You didn't go in
House.
Kingsley House?
No,
Didn't you go up there?
no.
Yeah, I can remember going across there for various things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went across there, but I didn't work in there. No, we had the wooden hut that leaked like the clappers on the
The
car
bungalow.
park. Yeah.
Yes, that's the first time I met you.
Bungalow?
In the bungalow.
How can you call
Everyone
it a
called it the
bungalow?
Everyone called it the bungalow in the middle of the car park.
It was a wooden hut. Bit bigger
No
than
one's a
those,
bungalow.
bit
That
bigger than
sounds
those you
bad.
have on the Karuma seafront.
Yeah.
But not painted quite sprightly. But yeah.
So you was in there with Harry,
Yeah.
and the girl used to open the door and just sort of look round the corner.
Is that Jean?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there was me and the girl who taught me my job, then there's Jean, then there's the part-time, so there's about 5 of us in there apart from Harry.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Nice and cosy.
Not really. It's a cold old place in the winter.
The hot old place in the
it
summer, was
leaked.
it?
Me and my friend used to have our hat and coat on and leg warmers because your feet were freezing and legs were cold. It wasn't the best place to work, but
Well, a very romantic name though, didn't it? The bungalow.
the bungalow. No, I just called it that. Yeah. So,
So what do you come to Scots as then? Finance? In
Trainee accountant. I'd
trainee accountant, yeah.
did you pass?
Yeah. Yeah,
Not still,
so,
not still training then, Jodie.
yeah, so I did an accountancy course at Norwich City College when I'd left school, because only rich people's families went to university in those days, not like now where you can get yourself up to your neck in debt for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So in those days,
You had to pay.
if you had money, you could go to uni, and if you didn't,
You went to
you didn't.
City
You had to go
College.
to work. Yeah, so I had a year at City College, then came, and we were on the second floor in the office block at that time. So I worked for Ken Dakin, was my first boss, and that was when Lawrence Scott was still an independent company, because
The name don't ring a bell. I can't remember that name.
No, Lawrence Scott. Remember Anne? Anne Waters was his
No.
PA.
Didn't used to go across the
No.
office block very often.
No, so we were there. So I used to look after as well to other sites in Norwich. So there were companies,
Selhurst Road
yeah, which was part of LSE
and Thorpe
and
Road.
Thorpe Road.
Yeah.
But there was also 2 other Lawrence Scott Limited subsidiaries in Norwich.
Oh, was there
Was
one
it?
there? I
Down
didn't know that.
Hall Road, the White Lodge Trading Estate in Hall Road. So
No?
Agavox.
I didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't.
Agavox made telephone answering machines,
Right.
and Cowtown did switchgear, but those eventually
Oh, so
were
it's Cowtown as well.
Where were they
I
based?
heard of them, but I didn't know
Yeah.
they're part of Lawrence Scott.
not that far from where the Asda is now along Hall Road.
Oh, right.
So on those trading estates behind there, and so as well
So
we
did
had.
we sell them 2 on then?
No, I think they were both closed. I think those were both closed down while we were still under Lawrence Scott ownership. So then we had as well the Manchester factory,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right, yeah.
which
Yeah.
was part of LSE, and LSE Wolverhampton.
Yeah, I can
And
remember.
there was one in Blantyre, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, Blantyre had its,
What they used to do?
So I think they did small motors as well.
They did small motors
as
as well.
motor,
Yeah.
as Manchester did. Then of course FKI took us over in the early
I can remember
80s.
Manchester.
Mining supplies first.
Yeah, well, mining supplies as they were, so they came. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can
They were
remember-
good days, they were, weren't they? Mining supplies.
And I remember the Manchester shutting because I remember going up there and
Oh, the
bringing
helicopters
stuff
going
down.
in. Yeah.
I can remember that, and we're getting all the drawings and everything down
Yeah.
for those. And some of the Wolverhampton guys, I think, ended up coming down working
Yeah.
at Lawrence and Scott's.
Because Wolverhampton was control gear, wasn't it?
That was,
Yeah.
yeah. Wolverhampton did a lot of
Yeah,
control gear.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Manchester did predominantly the coal board motors.
That's it. Yeah, the sort of
I think-
small guys,
I think
small
they-
stuff.
As far as the Manchester site was concerned, then the coal board were their only customer.
Really?
When you now look on and think, well, we haven't got a UK mining industry, have we?
Yeah, so I had to go,
No.
didn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Which
still-
actually was one of the reasons for mining supplies looking at LSE originally, because they were a major supplier into the coal boards.
Yeah, because they used to
so-
make the yarn face conveyors and all sorts of things,
Yeah.
like they want motors to run them, didn't they?
Yeah.
So I suppose from their point of view, it was a good marriage, wasn't it?
Yeah, good marriage for a while. And then I suppose they recognised after a long while that was just the Defence Systems site was the one that was making the major money.
We've still got the drawings of Manchester and Wolverhampton upstairs in the archives.
Yeah, I did say that,
Cabinets full of the drawings.
yeah.
Yeah, and so some of those, so you've gone back 40 years and more.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the HMV ones, they go back, the half plates go back to 1937. I actually took 2 managers up to the archives. That was an eye-opener for them.
I can imagine.
They
Is that
didn't know
still
that
stand there, is it?
They didn't know that existed up there.
Of course he did.
No idea.
Of course he did.
Is your dartboard still up there?
No, that's under my table.
Oh.
We got that off Mr. Atkins. That was another farce, that was.
What, your dartboard?
Stopped us playing darts at lunchtime because the area was going to be decorated.
Well, that was also a danger to anyone coming up the stairs.
No one came up there.
Not while you were throwing darts, they didn't.
We kept that tidy up there. When we played up there, we was tidying it up, and then he decided that was going to be decorated. So you had to. He nicked the dartboard, and I had to go and get it off him.
That's that corridor, isn't it, along the front
Yeah,
wall?
what's it now? It's a
Are the
right
windows
mess.
still bulging out?
Cracks, windows, and flaking off the walls, and I thought, you lied to me just to stop us playing darts. I weren't very happy about that. No,
Did you tell him off then?
we didn't really like one another, me and Mr. Atkins.
No, I
We
don't think
didn't
you really liked anyone, to be
No,
honest.
I don't think we had a lot. He had a lot of respect for me somehow. Bless him.
Yeah, so
But
things-
having said that, he cared about the workplace. He was out on the shop floor taking an interest in what the guys were doing. It's more than one
Yeah.
does nowadays.
Yeah.
He used to, and he wouldn't stand no square. In the 9 o'clock meetings, he wouldn't stand no square.
Well, I suppose he'd been breathed on by Hoyle, so he had to do something, I suppose.
So, but it's more when you get off the one who's in charge
Yeah,
now.
well, I mean, they're going all on different genders these days, I guess, and being Chinese old is probably not the best of things.
Worst. Yeah. No.
Experience I've had with Chinese factories when I've been over there is that they don't really pay much regard to their workforce. If you do something wrong in their factories, they fine you.
Yeah, right.
Same
Yeah.
way, whether they bring that regime over to Lawrence Scott in
Ooh, I think
Norwich,
that's
I don't know.
right.
But yeah, if you do something wrong in their factory, they fine you.
But they
Oh,
don't stay
interesting.
long in one job, neither, do they?
No, because
They-
their
they-
edict is always keep moving up. keep
Yeah,
moving up,
which
keep
is
moving up.
why they can't understand why the people that work there have been there as long as they have.
Oh,
they,
right, yeah.
they don't understand that. And when
No.
they talked to me and found out how long I've been
No,
there,
it's
they
not part of
can't
their
un-
that's not part of their
No,
mentality.
haven't you wanted to better yourself and move on? And you think,
I'm happy and
but
Well,
the
how
what
do
I'm
you
time,
do
doing.
it?
the
That's
time they move on, you're already now settling into to know what you're doing, aren't you?
Yeah.
I mean, 3 or 4 years is not long in a job. You're then sort of learning
Yeah.
the trade.
Learn the
aren't
trade
you?
properly as well.
But
It's
no,
used to
they
be,
then
isn't it?
move on.
Yeah.
You then get another person come in, and they change the routine all over again, don't
Yeah.
they? So you're back to square one. I can't see the.
Perhaps
can't see how they
that's
call
why
that
places
progress.
don't advance so much as they used to. Because they're always going back, like you say, they're always going backwards, aren't they?
Oh yeah. Well, I don't like the way that person done it. I'm changing it.
Perhaps they can't appreciate that a lot of what's done is in people's heads, not necessarily on paper.
I think when who were the people who took off from when George went down the pan?
That was ATV, wasn't it?
ATB.
Yeah, and who was that guy in chart who came over?
I don't know because I'd gone by.
What was his name?
George was still there when I went.
The Dutch guy.
Yeah.
He was a Dutch guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, no, he was quite good.
Yeah, I can't think what his name was now.
No, I can't think of his name now. But he was good, and things picked up then. We were hitting on-time targets when things were going out the door properly.
Well, I think when ATV took over,
We were
people on the shop floor thought, hey, we're moving again.
We were.
Yeah.
We were making progress.
Yeah.
We got the bonus,
Yes, that's true.
didn't we?
Yeah.
You know, if you hit the target each quarter, you got so much, didn't you? So
That's
even
it.
if you didn't hit every quarter, at the end of the year, you'd still get something because you'd hit 2 of them at 4 sort of thing. So that was good. Things picked up then, didn't they?
Yes, but that one.
And I think in fact the
I think the reason I left is because my job was changing so much. So I thought I just couldn't.
Well,
I was just changing.
yeah, mine is just about to change as
And
well.
I just didn't want to do what they headed me to do, and I didn't want to do planning or purchasing. So I thought, well, I'll leave.
So you go and find something else.
I went with Mike Robinson.
Oh right, yeah.
PPI.
Yeah.
And so I was with him 12 years, and then I retired beginning of this year. So
Yeah.
I still do bits and pieces for him, which is quite nice because I still have to go down to Scots because that's where he's doing more lobbyist work at the moment. So I still go down to Scots from time to time, which from my point of view is quite good.
Yeah.
I shall be going down to Scots from time to time.
No.
I can't imagine them wanting me to go down there from time to time, can you?
Security might be.
Yeah.
Coming to join us.
Well, hello, Richard.
I might as well join you guys.
Yes.
Look
We
as
don't
though
charge-
Join the merry throng.
We don't charge, so you're all right.
Yeah.
Right, so
Look as though you've done a hard day's work.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All the
It's
best.
the first time for everything.
Yeah.
So what's happening on the Lawrence Scots front today?
Today. Oh, you want
Yeah,
an up to date?
We want an up to date.
I don't know. I finish in a couple of days. So
Did you
I'm,
actually hear the pin drop on the bay?
No, no,
Who
no.
else has decided to leave? Anybody?
My lips are sealed. This is about past, not present.
We're not going to push
Well,
it.
every morning I go in, Nigel say, "Is anybody else handing what's in?"
You're next to go, I believe. Well, you got a couple of weeks.
23rd of December.
So when's that? A couple of weeks.
So it's
Next.
6 days.
6 days in
Next
counting.
Thursday.
6 days.
Next
yeah.
Thursday. I hope you got a good present.
Unless I just say to
I
take.
haven't even seen the whip round. I think there's about a
Unless-
fiver in there.
Well, I do the whip round, don't I? So
You better take it round then.
I always do. I always arrange the collections, don't
Do
I?
you still go round with menaces like you always did?
No. I let somebody else do that. So, but no, 6 days. Unless I decide to take 2 days holiday.
Have you got any holiday to take?
Yeah, I have actually.
Oh well.
Yeah, but I won't take
Watch
that.
your space.
Yeah.
Oh.
But my last week, I've just got to swap a couple of my days round. I'm going to go in on the Monday instead of the Tuesday.
Trust you to complicate life.
They'll throw a big party for you when they leave.
Oh, they'll definitely do that.
Yeah.
They'll be so relieved I'll go on.
That'd be a street party.
Yeah,
A hog
there'll be
roast.
celebrations like I bet Mr. Atkins can come along and pay for them.
Yeah, but
He'll
come
be
out,
so
come
pleased.
out especially to see you off.
Yeah.
Make
he'll
sure
be-
you go.
Yes, he will.
Right, has anyone heard from him or from the?
No.
What's his-
Oh, yeah.
Sue has bumped into
He's
him a couple of
retired.
times.
He lives in Wyndham. He's
lives in
retired and lives in Wyndham. Yeah.
Does he still go to Florida every year for his
Well,
holiday?
he didn't. He hasn't. He hasn't done for the last 18 months or so. but
that's a
he has.
shame.
I don't think many people have gone further.
Anywhere,
than,
no.
but Wroxham's about the furthest anyone's got for a holiday. I think over the last 18 months. But the Americans are now letting people in again.
Oh, right. As long as they don't let him out again, we'll be alright.
Yeah. Flood back this one.
You sound as though you should be in Australia. You'd like there because they don't let anybody even move from state to state there.
I don't fancy Australia. New Zealand, perhaps. but not
Australia's
Australia.
nice. I did actually go to Sydney for work. Work on one occasion when we
Oh.
had, when the sales manager of the Sydney sales office, Gerald, retired.
And they sent
I did-
you over there
Yes,
for
yes.
his retirement.
Well, David Manning was our MD at the time.
David
name.
Manning.
That's the name of the party.
Blimey.
Yeah, David
Yeah,
Manning,
so
yeah.
David was MD, so he asked would I go and liaise with Gerald on transferring things over.
He was another man that wasn't that popular, wasn't he? I didn't have a lot to do
He's a
with
real
him.
gentleman,
He's
very much a gentleman.
very clever, but he always played
Engineer
sort of
by background.
he kept sort of as though he wasn't really knowing what he was doing, but he was
Yeah.
very clever.
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot to do with
Yeah,
him
so,
when I was there.
Yeah, so we then brought, we did away, and the guy who was running the Melbourne sales office set up his own company and did the Australian sales. So sales were done in Australia. We did quite a bit in Australia, didn't we, years ago?
Yeah, so we used to have sales offices then, all around the world, I guess.
Yeah, they were scattered all over the world.
Yeah, it must have been. So it was
Yeah,
obviously in
surprising.
Australia or New Zealand or that area.
Yeah, 'cause
America,
it was,
America, they had one? Did
Not
we have
so
one?
many in America, no.
What's his name? Lambert. He used to be.
Tony
Oh,
Lambert.
Tony
Yeah,
Lambert,
he
yeah.
used to be overseas a lot, didn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Tony
Tony did quite.
This was
Tall guy,
Rod,
wasn't he? And Rod Sorrell,
Rod Sorrell.
Rod.
What was
He
his role?
So Rod was our,
MD, wasn't he?
so he was our MD
Under FKI.
during FKI's
That's it.
period, and then he went and took on a group role and looked after other companies before he retired, and he died around about 3 years ago. But
Or Rod Sorrell.
yeah, but he did actually retire. When he retired, he still lived in Norfolk because quite a few people
So do you keep in contact with many of them? Or?
No, Ian now and again, but yeah, it's not a massive number of people, but you do still come across people. So people who'd worked for me. So I went to Ray Howard's funeral a couple of weeks ago, and Ray was another gentleman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Yeah, I remember Ray.
We had
Yeah,
some
I liked him.
great fun with Ray. Can you remember we changed Friday working when we reduced hours, and we
That's
finished
right.
at 3:30 on
That's right,
Friday.
yeah.
And at that time, I was looking after all the service side, and so Ray was looking after the control gear service. And one Friday afternoon, Ray came and saw me and said, "I've lost my watch." So, okay, well, where did you last have it? Well, I'm sure I'd had it when I'd gone into the gents, and so we had just a general look about. And then he came up with the brainwave that come 4 o'clock, most people would have gone home,
Right.
and there were several of us about, and his phone bleeped on the hour. So we had to spread out across the. We were all on the second floor, so we spread out. Trudy went one.
Trudy,
Mike
yeah.
Pearce, Janice,
Yeah.
me, Ray. I think Bob Branscombe, Steve Frost. So we spread out and we listened. And 4 o'clock came and went,
No phone
and
company?
no bleeps. So for about the fourth time, I'd said to Ray, "Well, ring Gwen and ask." "Well, there's no point because I know it's here. We'll ring her." And you know when you can only hear one side of a conversation? And I could hear, and he said, "I can't find the watch." "Well, I could have sworn I put it on today." And I said, "Where was it?" He said, "That's in the bathroom at home."
So you all stood there
So
for nothing?
I think that was Mike who said, "Yeah, well, no wonder we couldn't hear the bleep then." Because North Walsham to Norwich was quite a distance for a little bleep. So yeah, but there were characters, and you couldn't help but laugh.
No, no.
Silly
I remember
outside.
Trudy.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember her, she left, didn't she?
Yeah,
So, when you worked over the office block,
yeah.
I was in the office block when I first started on that
Yeah.
corner on the first floor. So,
Yeah.
where were you in relation to that?
So when we first started, the accounts was on the ground floor. So if you imagine reception, main reception,
Yeah.
come through reception, turn right, and
Ah,
accounts
right,
was
okay.
in. And we
Yeah.
had we must have had half the ground floor in those days. Then I think that would have been probably during the FKI time. We moved upstairs.
Right.
So it was a general reorganisation, because I think some of the drawing office went downstairs. Derek Arms and Co went downstairs.
Oh, control gear.
Control
drawing
gear,
office, yeah.
drawing
Right,
office.
yeah.
Yeah, they went downstairs. We went onto the second floor. So service was on the second
So
floor.
you got promoted and they got relegated.
Well, it depends how you look at it. Yeah. We were
Got down the
pushed
table.
further away from reception, so we went there. And then during the FKI reign, I came out of accounts and went into more commercial roles.
Right.
So while I was in service, I spent quite a while going down to Sizewell C, doing the construction at Sizewell C,
Oh,
because
right,
we had
okay.
quite a team of engineers permanently on site doing the installation at Sizewell C. So I spent 2 or 3 days a week going across to Sizewell. Then Then at another later stage, when I took over the service then moved into the main factory. So we had officers in the main factory.
Whereabouts were the officers in the main factory then?
About middle.
I think where they were.
About middle of the block.
Oh yeah, they went into near Bay 12, didn't they?
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, so we were in that.
In that area.
So we sat in there for a while.
Yeah, because they revamped the whole of the bottom floor
Yeah.
in the office in
Yeah.
the main works, didn't they?
Yeah.
And that area, I know they topped a lot of floors out and
Yeah.
walls out there, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
And there was one massive, great safe
Yeah.
or strong room that took some getting out.
Yeah. Yeah. So we
What was in there?
so we went across to there.
I don't know what was in there, but it was a hell of a job getting out.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So kept moving about. Things moved about. Things got smaller.
I moved about a bit as well.
Yeah. So during those FKI years, the early years in particular, I spent quite a bit of time going to other companies because FKI's philosophy was clear from day one. They always made it clear that they bought a company with one of two objectives. One was to focus more activity on its site, or to buy it to actually move it to one of its other sites. So the Norwich site was one which they always earmarked from day one, was one they were going to put more business on.
Ah, right.
So we then bought
Stones, EDC,
yeah.
Bedford Pumps,
Yeah.
and Normand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
what made FKI sell then?
I think
General downturn. I think they wanted to focus on other things, didn't they?
yeah, they did.
They wanted to come out of electrical engineer or something.
Well,
Did they just get approached by ATB?
well,
no, because ATB was after George.
No, ATB came along a lot later.
after George,
So FKI had bought other bigger companies. So they'd bought Brush at Loughborough.
That's right.
So we
Bush came in, yeah.
Yeah.
came in. I know I spent a month, 1 August in Loughborough. We were doing the due diligence for that acquisition. And again, there were parts of the brush companies that were looking to bring to Norwich. But I think in the end, when there was a downturn, perhaps as much as anything in defence, there was a look at moving the Norwich site to Loughborough. And that always was the plan, and that was the plan we were trying to
Yeah, because it's a bigger site, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
huge
absolutely
site.
massive
That's a huge site, that is.
in terms of workforce and factory
I didn't realise how
space.
big it was. So someone
yeah,
told me,
that is
That would
huge.
probably be about 4 or 5 times the size.
And they had a
of the
lot of sort
Norwich
of
site.
spare areas there
Yeah.
as well, didn't they, up there?
Yeah, yeah.
Huge site.
So that was the plan we were looking at executing, and then George suddenly came
Yeah, and I remember
from
when,
outer space, I guess. I don't know where he came
Yeah.
from.
Yeah, that's what
I
made it
don't know
came from
how
nowhere,
he.
didn't
I
it?
don't know how he suddenly turned up.
No, I don't think anybody does. I don't think George really knew.
Yeah, he definitely talked a good fight, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
talk the talk.
I don't think the top management were that impressed with him to start with, would they?
No, I don't think it. Didn't he have a sidekick with him?
With the cowboy hat, bit of a nickname.
I think he probably
He
would have.
had-
Yeah.
Who was that tall
Yeah.
thing guy with the
He had one or two. He had
Texan guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he had a sidekick. didn't
He
used
had
to
one
come
or
down
two
with.
investors from
Yeah, he was the front
America.
man, wasn't he?
Yeah.
yeah.
But
He actually had no money.
no, and I think he'd borrowed money off some of them, and then he effectively went on the run because they would actually
Another got this image now.
because they would quite often ring me and say, I
Bit of a
wanna-
cowboy for a sound of it.
yeah, we need to speak to George.
Oh yeah, reception had to do
Yeah,
a lot
we-
of little fairy tales when
And-
he was about. I know.
Really?
And I would say,
Yeah.
well, as best we can understand it, we actually think he's in the US at the moment. He's
Yeah.
definitely not in Norwich, but we think he's in the US.
It's alright, George, you can get out from under the table.
But that's because when he suddenly, that's when we were all getting the phone calls at home, weren't it? When things went bottoms up.
That's
so
when
to
I went
speak.
into receivership.
Yeah, people
crawl.
get phone calls at home, weren't they, saying you don't come in tomorrow, you haven't got a job.
Yeah,
Did you?
Did you get that?
Well, I didn't. It was my birthday. I was out. I missed the call,
Oh.
but I had to phone in the next day.
That's
yeah.
right,
and
yeah.
you got the
Paul
call.
Gibbons
You,
said you better come in.
yeah, you got the
So
you
I
got
was
married.
like,
Duncan
okay,
got the
so
call.
I'll
didn't
make packed lunch. Yeah.
you? Yeah.
Because
home again.
one or two in the office.
Worked out all right for me
Thomas
in the end.
Stell was
Yeah.
one of
Yeah.
them. He was out and he came in the next day and got called upstairs and was
Yeah.
told that.
Yeah,
And
Dave
those that
Wilkinson,
were-
he got a phone call.
Yeah,
didn't he?
but those that were left didn't even know if they were going to get paid, even though they were carrying on working.
I know, we're better off going and coming
Yeah,
back rather
yeah.
than staying.
Yeah, you made a bit of money out of that, didn't you?
Yeah,
A little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah.
yeah.
Not a lot.
Yeah. So what the receivers paid you off, and then
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
still got my redundancy check. I wouldn't cash it. £3.14.
It's not enough for a pint, is it?
Still got it.
not now. I might have been then. Only just.
I wouldn't cash it out of principle.
Yeah, no, I can remember that. We were buying our own stationery stuff.
Yeah.
You'd go into Smith's and buy your own paper clips and pens you wanted because they weren't buying anything. Yeah, that was. I remember that plain as
I
anything.
expect you
It's
set up a
horrible.
black market, didn't you?
Well,
They were a bloody nightmare, that receivership lot.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
were a nightmare, they were.
they like to use long, complicated words in their letters and
Yeah,
everything. Then we had people coming in from the unemployment and dual office, didn't we, Sean? Telling
Yeah.
us what we had to do. And
Yeah, all forms you had to fill in.
Yeah.
Let's get this, that and the other.
But then that was all done in the wrong way, wasn't it? So there was not enough notice given, so
No,
then there was some
you
more
can't-
payments to be had.
Yeah.
You can't phone people up at home and say, don't come in tomorrow, you ain't got a job.
Yeah, because the unions got hold of it, there was no consultancy and all that sort of stuff.
No.
I went to court then, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, got a bit messy, but
You know, you think to yourself, I mean, anybody could do that, couldn't they? Phone up and say you ain't got a job.
Could be one of your enemies, couldn't it?
Cool, yeah. Oh, what I'd lose on.
get paid off every week.
Yeah, that might be worth considering. Yeah, so, oh, there, that was bad times, that was, wasn't it? But then, like I
Yeah,
said,
they weren't very good.
then
was
when thingy took over, that was good, wasn't it? Things picked up again, that was good.
What, when ATB? Yeah, well, they came in with a plan, didn't they? They knew what they wanted to do, didn't they? Because they came to England to buy up Morley's, didn't they?
Oh, did they? I didn't
So they
realise
came
that.
to
Yeah, that was
and
their
then
original.
found out that Lawrence Scott was up for sale. So we was actually bought by Morley's.
While in receivership.
Yeah.
They want to pay.
That was Morley's bought, as I understand it, Morley's was the one who actually bought it
Okay.
with ATV money. That's why everything had to be referred back to Morley's, because they were kind of the main company.
Yeah.
But now Morley's is in Scotland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I've never been to Morley's, but that wasn't a very big place, was it?
no, I think that's quite a small thing. But yeah, they came to
No,
the
well,
UK.
if, see if you
them.
work out, there weren't a massive number of motor manufacturers in the UK, were there? So, it's such a small world. You keep going round in a
It's
small
it's
circle.
that's
Yeah.
an incestuous world,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Because people in the electric motor industry were trying to nick someone out of another company
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
their company.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have such a big pool of people, did you?
No, no.
I always said there was a simple philosophy: if you left LSE to go elsewhere in the industry,
You ended up back.
don't leave on bad terms, because at some stage you're all going to meet up
Yeah.
Yeah.
in a different guise somewhere.
Yeah.
And it did happen, didn't it?
That did happen, yeah, you're right.
Have you been back at all since you left?
No.
Not been through the
No.
door at all.
No.
No, you
I've
haven't.
been passed on the train. The railway line.
So is that a wave or?
No, it's fine. You just come back. No, I haven't. I've
And
I've
the other
sent
one
people.
that never came back when he left was Ralph Webber. He's
Yeah.
never
No.
set
He's
foot
never been
inside the
seen.
place.
I have bumped into him on the odd occasion,
No,
Ralph.
he said he'd never come back.
So what about the reunion? You ever been?
No, I haven't been to any reunions.
Don't fancy
I
that?
do see through my football and cricket come across people. Do meet up with the likes of Nicky and Janice.
Yeah. I went to the
Do you
reunion
do golf? Do
once.
you play golf?
No.
So you don't see
No.
Roger?
No, I have seen Roger from time to time.
He's been down a couple of times.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
time of year is when they normally come
They
down.
usually
isn't
pop down
it?
this time, yeah, that's
Christmas
true.
time,
Yeah,
yeah.
Christmas
I've got the
carol.
invitation to go and see Roger and Linda and have a cup of coffee, which we'll manage to do at some stage. Yeah.
Talking football, I must just mention that red card. Do you remember that?
What, in the five-a-side?
Yeah.
What, at Sprowston?
Yeah. You
Yeah,
do
we
remember
did.
that?
Yeah.
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 Still talk about it
They
at
were-
work.
They were aggressive.
Who were?
Well,
Five-a-side.
there was a
Department.
friendly
Was this
five.
Lawrence Scott's playing somebody else?
No.
No.
What?
Interdepartmental
In-
five-a-side.
Departmental.
Oh, I can't
Didn't
remember
you,
the
you
answer.
didn't play in that. You played just.
At the Sprowston Sports
He's going to tell me
Concession
his
Club,
take on it now.
where Sprowston Athletic play, and that was just
I
aggressive.
can't remember the interdepartmental football.
Yeah,
I don't-
I organised a couple at Sprowston on Blue Ball.
I don't think they lasted very long because there were so many off work on the Mondays with injuries.
But the red card was
Come on, what's
just,
this red card then?
It's a friendly, isn't it? And he
Yeah.
said,
What were you, the ref?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
We still talk about
Animals. Animals completely.
it. We won't mention who it was. Yeah.
So who
Did
did
you
you
send
red card?
anybody
You
off?
red card this one?
No, not me. No.
No, Richard went.
God,
Naughty
no.
boy. No, there was.
So
I-
was there only one? When you say it's departmental, I wouldn't have thought there's enough
No,
guys
there was,
in each.
yeah.
Oh, there
There
was.
used to
There
be.
was quite a
They had
few.
departmental all sorts of things. Cricket, didn't they?
Yeah.
Football.
I can
Yeah.
remember
Well,
the cricket.
Table tennis,
Which is more
tennis.
than more than 5, isn't it, for cricket?
Yeah.
So 5
Yeah.
aside, that was quite easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Had 2 at the machine shop,
Yeah.
1 at the wine shop, maybe 2.
No end of darts
maintenance,
teams.
definitely maintenance had a team of 5
Yeah.
sides.
Yeah.
A30 had 1 or 2
There's
teams.
quite a
Apprentice team. There was an
Yeah.
apprentice
Yeah,
team.
quite a few younger ones. Don't forget,
There
in
was
some
probably
years,
2 office teams in the 5-a-side
Yeah.
tournament. Yeah.
I think some years there were 10 or a dozen apprentices taken on, weren't they? So, so that's quite a good.
Well, I
apprentice
definitely
school.
organised 3, maybe 4 5-a-side tournaments.
Yeah.
Blue Boar and.
So who did get sent off with the red card? Anyone I know?
I'll tell you off camera.
Yeah.
He won't be watching this, I'm sure. It's not on Facebook.
Was it a
did
bad misdemeanour? Was it, Mr. Collins?
Did
Assistant.
Persistent misdemeanours.
he deserve to be sent off?
From the referee's point of view.
See, I'd be no good
I'm intrigued
because if
now.
I didn't like him, he'd have to go off.
Yeah, well,
Going on the pitch.
I got to say, there wouldn't be many left. We're back to your enemies again. Yeah, no, you took part in the interdepartmental darts.
Oh, I done the darts.
We
I
had
got
quite a
girls
few
to get the
departmental
We had a
darts.
darts team,
Yeah.
Darts were good, yeah.
And actually,
Yeah.
when Mining Supplies took over, we came, and Graham Pickering was finance director. He was very much into 10-pin bowling, so several of us in the
Oh,
offices.
I used to like the 10-pin.
We used to go and do 10-pin bowling.
Was that competition or just a social night?
We did it as a league, social on Thursday
Yeah,
evening.
I remember going to the,
And then
the
we had
tending
it.
bowling.
And then we had interdepartmental one over at RAF Coldershall.
I didn't go to that.
I can remember
No,
going
yeah.
there, and that was very strange because at the time, you was probably still at school then, because we went there, and that was when the Falklands conflict was
I
on.
was just leaving that year.
Yeah. So when we went to RAF Coldershall on the Friday evening, there was plenty of military there, and there was armed guards everywhere, and you had to get on site, go through security with passports and all sorts.
And you still got through?
And we were allowed on.
Who used to organise that then?
Can't remember who
Carl
organised
Field?
that. Whether Carl
Used
used
to
to
when
organise
I
it.
done it, yeah.
Whether Carl
Yeah,
actually
Carl used to
played
do
or
them.
organised it.
He
But then,
organised a lot of things.
Yeah, he did. Used
so
to, yeah.
I think we got there for about 7 o'clock on a Friday evening, and by the time we left was gone 11, and it was pouring with rain, and you could just drive out in and out off the site as easy as anything. Weren't an armed guard to be seen anywhere.
Or in their planes flying
Yeah.
to Argentina.
And that was still when the base was a base.
Yeah. Oh, blimey. No, I
'Cause-
know I didn't go to that one.
Because we did at one stage look at the possibility of moving off the Norwich site to go there, but the electricity infrastructure would have been far too much.
We did look at one school at North Walsham. There was a redundant site there.
I was
Tony
one
and
of
I
the-
went to that one.
One of the
Cranes places, yeah.
yeah.
We also looked at the Angling Windows place as well.
oh yeah,
That was
yeah.
an ideal site. Tony and I, we put down a lot of work on that one. So we
Yeah.
could get the whole factory in there. One big problem.
That's the one up
They
near
have no
Aston.
power.
One up near Aston.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's the
that's
Angling
the
Windows.
one, yeah.
No
Yeah,
power.
power was the issue.
That was the
at
biggest
RAF
issue. We couldn't get the power
yeah,
to it.
No,
But that was
No.
an ideal factory.
yeah,
The offices were beautiful.
yeah, yeah.
But the,
yeah.
the factory was good. That was a really good factory.
Yeah, Tony came with me on several different sites we looked at. I know we went somewhere, I can't remember what we looked at, down on Eastbourne.
Eastbourne.
Yeah.
Eastbourne?
Eastbourne in November, that was quite entertaining, walking along the
We've gone that far.
seafront.
That'd be a
It's a
bit
two-week
far.
transfer.
I can't bike all that way.
But again, that was looking at a company
Okay.
to bring it to Norwich.
Oh,
that
right.
didn't work out. So yeah, there's several.
Some of the companies we brought in worked out quite well, did it, for the interim period. Like EDC was quite
Yeah.
good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And those Stones generators we did,
Yeah.
they were quite good
Yeah,
contract.
yeah, we brought in quite
Got-
a few
got a few bits
from
and
the,
pieces, didn't
the
we?
Norman group of companies.
Norman,
They're still running.
Yeah, so we
gearboxes
came
and
in
stuff.
from
Yeah.
Clapham.
Yeah.
There was EDC from
EDC, yeah.
Orpington.
Nico.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nico's
Yeah.
came in.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
the sort of ones they sort of integrated, didn't they?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
good
worked
work
quite
on
well. And Precision Step Systems, PSS.
That's the only
that
one
was-
of the small machines still
yeah,
going.
yeah, and that was very good.
They usually have a good turnover.
Well, apparently it's still
they were
alright.
the ones that keep us going,
Yeah.
really, to be honest.
It's still got a good
PSS.
order book.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that way always
And there's only
was.
2 guys working in there. It's pretty good.
In the assembly bit.
Yeah.
Really from
Three
day,
of us on the shop floor doing the bits.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
but from day one that was an ideal fit because
Yeah.
it's standard design. Just keep keep
churn out the parts.
manufacturing and
Yeah.
churning out. Yeah. A lot went into Japan. Japanese were very keen on
yes,
that.
they still are. There's still a lot
Yeah.
going to there for them.
Yeah, and the Japanese very much when they came to see us, our customers, real gentlemen, really polite people. Yeah, lovely people, the Japanese. Not that we could communicate a word with them, but they were always good at English.
You just had to, didn't they, where you just have to bow?
Yeah, and eat sushi.
Oh no, I couldn't do that bit.
It's coming up to an end, so
You have to go to Morrison's to get the sushi.
I complain now when the Chinese guy put his stuff in the microwave.
Yeah, you complained. Yeah,
Yeah, I go, oh god, that's the smell that I don't like.
let's say happy Christmas.
yes, happy
Christmas,
Yeah,
yeah.
hopefully everyone
Happy
enjoyed
Christmas.
Christmas. Thank you,
Yeah.
Richard.
And you.
Cheers.
And you,
And
yeah.
you, have a good one.
Happy
Will
Christmas.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
enjoy retirement.
Safe, I will try. Yes,
So-
definitely.
Filling in this hot seat for someone who didn't turn up, but hey ho.
Well done.
Next time,
No
next time.
comment.
Yeah, no comment.
No
Who's-
comment.
Who's rely on him to let us down?
There's old one. There's old one.
Yeah, perhaps he deserves a red card as well. Then. Oh, jolly good.